Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls, people of all ages, sexualities, and identities, and welcome back to another Doctor Who review. And today's Doctor Who review is none other than the War Machines. So, without further ado, let's not beat around the bush and let's get right into the story. The Doctor and Dodo arrive back on Earth, but little do they realize that a horror is stirring beneath the cores of everything, and the Doctor must face an enemy unlike any he has faced before. He must face the machines. The Doctor and Dodo go up to the BT Tower, in which he begins to discover that apparently a scientist has come up with a new technology, a AI intelligence that will pretty much revolutionize the way that human beings think and feel. But he doesn't realize the power of everything he's created. And it turns out that Wotan has believed that the human race are nothing more than slaves to the machine. And now Wotan will take advantage of this and take over the world. Wotan starts slow, however, using mind powers to essentially manipulate and brainwash people into becoming the slaves that Wotan so believes humanity to be, sending them to workshops in Greenwich and Soho and so on to build these machines that will take over the world. However, what Wotan doesn't take into consideration is that the Doctor is on the case, and so Wotan goes, "Doctor Who must be destroyed." So Wotan tries to track down the Doctor in time to stop them from interfering with their plans. However, the Doctor, using the military, manages to stop Wotan's plans of world domination. However, this comes at the cost of his own companion, Dodo Chapman. No, Dodo does not die, but Dodo is left ambiguous to their ending. It turns out that due to the mind powers of Wotan, Dodo's persuasion has been slightly altered, and Dodo has betrayed the Doctor. The Doctor forgives Dodo, however, and takes on board two new companions, Ben and Polly. Ben is the first one to realise that something is up when Wotan starts to begin to build the machines, as he goes looking for Polly, or as he calls her, the Duchess, and pretty much realizes that she is under the control and has been helping build the machines. Ben, a sailor who essentially is supposed to be off port, finds himself in a very precarious situation when he ends up aboard the TARDIS. Let's quickly flash back to how the Doctor met Polly. Polly was a secretary for the person who built the Wotan machine in the first place. She helps him with a lot of the plans and helps him with a lot of the schedules, and the Doctor meets her when she's offering him a drink. Polly then goes on to befriend Dodo, and the pair of them go out to a nightclub. Polly, the Duchess, as Ben calls her, manages to cheer Ben up when he's not feeling right himself when he's in the club. The two soon become friends, and Polly even offers to give him a lift in the taxi, but Ben seems to have a suspicion that something else is going on. Ben constantly goes on, though, in this story about the fact that he feels a little bit left out because he's not used to being on port for too long, as he's always been kind of driven to be in the Navy. Eventually, in the story, when the war machines do start to try conquering the Earth, it turns out that the Doctor manages to look into their code and realizes that there's a way to reprogram them. By trapping one of the war machines with the help of the military, the Doctor manages to reprogram them and essentially use them against Wotan. Eventually, this reprogramming goes well above and beyond, sending the last war machine that has been reprogrammed back to its controller and destroying Wotan in the process, or at least destroying them for now. The Doctor then realizes all the hypnosis that's been happening to his companion and asks that she be sent off to a house for rest. After this, however, it seems that Dodo must have felt really bad about being brainwashed and really bad about betraying the Doctor, because she decides to go off on her own and leaves the Doctor behind. Of course, she loves him dearly, but I guess she wasn't too sure whether she could still be trusted due to if she can be so susceptible to brainwashing. The Doctor then goes to say his goodbyes to Polly and Ben as he goes to go into the police box, but little does he realise that they remember that something has been left inside the box for Dodo. And so this is when they begin their adventures in time and space. So, what were my thoughts of the War Machines? It's a very simple but a very solid basis for a story. The story is set in London. It's set in a couple places, I can't lie, I've been a lot of times, between the BT Tower and Greenwich and so on. The thing I also like, though, the most about the War Machines is the fact that the machines pretty much show how easily people could be manipulated and how easily people could be persuaded. The fact that they take over so quickly as well, compared to a lot of invasions we've seen in the Doctor Who universe, is absolute mind-bogglingly brilliant. It just really shows the susceptibility of humanity and also how robots may be the future, but they may also come back to bite people on the arse. And the way that that is shown in the War Machines by all the guns and the turrets and the pretty much the tank aspect of the War Machines is why I love this story so much, and for that reason I give it a solid 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next Doctor Who review. Until then, goodbye, stay beautiful, and have an incredible day.